Today we're going to talk about the Blendtec Total Blender, and we're going to give you a number of reasons so that you understand why the Blendtec Total Blender is completely different from all the other blenders on the market. We're also going to get you started with a few different recipes to give you an idea of a number of things that you can make inside of our blender. So let's go ahead and get started right away. Today we're going to start off making a fresh whole juice. Now what I want you to realize is, if you've ever owned a juicer before, you know how they work. You take your fruit and your vegetables, you squeeze it, you get a little bit of juice out, and what do you end up doing with the rest of it? You end up throwing that in the trash. Big waste of money, big waste of ingredients, okay? So what we're going to do with our total blender today, it's going to be called whole juicing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to load this up with grapes, okay, at the very beginning. Now you'll notice I'm also using red grapes, which actually have seeds in them. You can take advantage of every part of the fruit and the vegetable. Whatever you want to put in there is going to get completely liquefied, even the seeds, okay? I'm going to go ahead and throw some strawberries in there as well. You'll notice I'm going to even leave the stems on, okay? The stems have chlorophyll in them. They're very good for your immune system. Things that we wouldn't normally eat, right? Including, and just like, the core of the pineapple. Core of the pineapple is really hard to chew, but that's where the majority of the fiber is, and that's why we want it in our diet, okay? I am going to add a little bit of banana as well, and this is going to give us 4 different fruits already in our drink. You can see how nice and healthy this is going to be, okay? Now, for the 5th ingredient, I'm going to add some spinach. We're going to make this a green drink, okay? You can add kale. You can use whatever type of greens you'd like. I like spinach. I'm a little weird. I like the taste of it, okay? So what you're going to notice, though, the leaves and the things that are typically very hard for regular blenders to completely liquefy, this machine is going to completely blend that up, okay? One more thing I am going to add as well. Normally, I would actually freeze my spinach or my bananas to get my juice cold. I'm going to add a little bit of ice because ice is one of the hardest things on blenders, and I want you to see exactly how easy that is for our Blendtec Total Blender, okay? Now, if I want to make a smoothie and I want a little bit thicker consistency, I'll leave all my ingredients just like that. I want to make it a little bit more of a juice, a little softer consistency, so I'm just going to add a little bit of water. Not a whole lot, and the machine doesn't need it if you want to have that thicker consistency, okay? So before I turn the machine on, let me show you a few of those features that we were talking about that sets us apart from the competition, okay? First of all, let's talk about our jar design. You'll notice we have a square jar design, which is different than a lot of those round circular jars that you're going to find, okay? What this does, square jar design helps to disrupt the flow of all the ingredients that are in the jar. So if you've ever found yourself having to shake your jar, push everything back down onto the blade, you're not going to have the problem with this machine because that jar design, in conjunction with our blade design, helps pull all of the ingredients down to the base, okay? So you'll notice that our blade is actually different as well. It's a single wingtip blade. It's 8 times thicker than the competition, and what is awesome about this is, like I mentioned, no need to babysit your machine and push all the ingredients back down. The machine does all the work for you. So while I turn this on, those are the things that I want you to pay attention to, okay? You'll notice here on the front, we've got 6 different pre-programmed cycles. I'm going to go ahead. We want to make whole juice. That's one of our options. I'll just push that one time, and all of our ingredients are going to flow back down onto the blade. The reason why that's important is that just means you're going to get a consistent, better blend every time you use the machine, okay? Things to keep in mind about the Blendtec Total Blender. This has a 3 peak horsepower motor, which means it's one of the strongest in the industry, okay? And all the ingredients, the seeds, stems, leaves, and peels, you'll notice is everything is getting completely liquefied, and you're getting that whole juice that you're looking for, okay? So when I'm busy in the morning, I can load this up with ingredients, push the button once, walk away, and when I come back, I'll have my breakfast ready for me. Here on the front, we've got a little display that shows the timer, how much time's remaining, and as soon as that runs out, the machine will shut itself off, okay? So juice is one of the many things you can make with this machine. You can also make hot soups. If I load this up with fresh vegetables, while it's mixing all those vegetables up and making it into a soup, it'll actually heat up the ingredients for me as well, okay? There's a lot of different options of things that you can make with the Blendtec Total Blender. So let me pour this out and show you how this consistency looks, okay? You'll notice that there's no bits and pieces left over, right? Everything's been nice and liquefied. The process of that is called micronization. What it's doing is actually breaking it down to a cellular level. And why that's awesome is the machine is doing the work that normally my body has to do to absorb all the nutrients, okay? It makes it really, really easy on our body. So the next thing I want to show you guys is what do you have to do now typically? You always have to unscrew the bottom, take it apart to clean the blades. Not with the Blendtec machine, okay? The cleanup is very, very simple and basic with this machine. So let me show you. All I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of water here. We're going to pour in just enough water to cover up the blades and a drop of dish soap. And that's all you need, okay? This jar is stamped by the NSF, which is the National Sanitation Foundation. And this method of cleaning is enough to kill all the bacteria, and the jar is guaranteed not to transfer colors, scents, tastes, odors, anything between recipes, okay? So we've got that on there. I'm going to use this pulse button that works kind of like a food processor button. I'm just going to hold that down for about 5 seconds. that'll scrub and clean off the sides of the jar. And it's just as easy as that. All you have to do is rinse it out in your sink at home, and you're ready to go to the next recipe. Okay, why this is important is we originally created these machines for restaurants, smoothie bars, places that are constantly doing so many different ingredients. It's very important for them to go in between all of them very, very quickly so they can get back to the customers and make more money. Okay, now you can have that same technology at home with the Blendtec Total Blender. So we've made some juice. I'm going to go ahead and make something a little bit different now. We're going to actually make some homemade ice cream as well, okay? So this ice cream, we call it our Popeyes ice cream recipe. If you've ever seen one of our demonstrations before, this is one of the most popular recipes that we love to make, okay? For this, I'm going to start out, and we're going to use a little bit of half and half cream. You can use any type of milk or milk alternative that you'd like. I like the consistency that the half and half gets me, and it's a little bit healthier than typical ice creams that you're going to buy at the store, okay? So we've got a little bit of half and half. For flavoring, I love using imitation almond extract. This gives it a little bit of a pistachio taste, okay? To sweeten it up, you can use sugar, you can use honey. I actually prefer to use a little bit of agave. It's a little bit more of a natural sweetener, okay? And now, this is one of the tricks to our ice cream, okay? I'm going to add a little bit of protein powder here to our ice cream. Then what this is going to do, it's going to help thicken it up. It's going to give it a little bit of flavor as well. This is a great way to get those extra ingredients and nutrients that you might not get throughout the day in your diet. And the best part is this ice cream is so good. Even the picky eaters that don't like trying new things, they're going to love this ice cream, okay? I like adding a half a banana as well, just for more flavor. It helps make that ice cream a little bit creamier. Now, like I mentioned, we call this Popeyes ice cream because I'm going to go ahead and add some more of that spinach. We had it in our green juice. We're going to have some in our ice cream here as well, okay? Throw a little bit of that in. We get all the benefits of the vitamins and minerals. And I'm going to go ahead and add a lot of ice. Now, you tell me what would happen if you put this in your typical blender at home, right? You're going to find a lot of problems. It might burn up your motor. It might not even want to start blending. So you can see we can use a lot of ice in the Blendtec Total Blender because remember, it's got that 3 peak horsepower motor, okay? Pop my lid back on there. We'll go back to our different pre-programmed cycles. We've got one here in the corner for ice cream. I'm just going to go ahead and give that one push. And you'll notice it's just that easy, and it starts crushing up all the ice. Now, if I notice that I need to add additional ingredients, I don't need to stop the cycle. I can just go ahead and add it and let the cycle continue its course. Just like the juice cycle, it's going to change speeds automatically and run through it. And if I notice that I need to add more liquids, I can go ahead and just pop some more in there, and we're good to go. So this is a 45-second cycle. As soon as it finishes up the timer, it'll shut itself off. If at any point I see that it's a consistency that I like, any of the buttons will automatically shut it off, and I can have it just how I want it. And just like that, it wasn't even the full cycle. We've got a nice thick ice cream, okay? So while I serve that up, we've done 2 wet recipes. We've done ice cream. We've done juice. Now let me show you one other thing, okay? You might have seen other blenders that can grind grains, but typically you have to buy a separate jar, something that has a unique characteristic on it. I'm going to use the exact same jar to do it, okay? I'm not going to add any liquids. Nothing's different, and all I'm going to do is use the manual speed buttons here. I'm going to kick this up to speed level 8, speed level 10, depending on the consistency that I want, and we'll let that cycle run for about 50 seconds. There it goes, shuts itself off. And I want to pour this out so you can see how fine this flour turned out, okay? This is going to be perfect for baking. If I'd like it a little bit finer even, something for a pastry maybe, I could run it through the cycle one more time and your flour will turn out even finer, okay? So there's 3 simple recipes of things that you can make inside the Blendtec Total Blender. Some things to keep in mind, Blendtec is a US-based company. We back all of our product with a very, very high warranty, 8-year warranty, okay? Things that you don't need to worry about with the Blendtec Total Blender. It's a bumper-to-bumper warranty, covers everything that you're going to need from the jar all the way to the motor. Okay, if you need any additional information to help you in your search, visit blendtec.com. There's a lot of other tools on there that might be beneficial for you.